What's going on, y'all? This is episode 5 of Forgotten Plugins. This is a video series that I do where I show off and talk about a plugin that I've either haven't used for a long time or forgotten that I've even had. And in this episode, we're featuring the Passive Active Pack from Softube. So this is the first bundle of plugins that I got from Softube many years ago, and I haven't used them in a long time, and after messing around with them recently, I don't understand why I haven't used them in a long time because they sound great. The Passive Active Pack is a bundle of 3 EQs. You get a active EQ, a passive EQ, and a focusing EQ. So the active and passive are both modeled after console EQs, the passive one being a Neumann console EQ, and the focusing EQ is something that Softube created completely on their own. It's not modeled after anything, but it's pretty cool though. So we'll take a look at all of these. And if you haven't heard the difference between a passive and active EQ, it's pretty interesting to hear the differences between those. Active EQs sound more natural to me, whereas passive EQs have a really nice, smooth top end and sounds more or processed to me, where active EQs sound more natural. So I've got a vocal here, and I've got everything bypassed right now. We'll go through these one by one. So this is the vocal without any processing at all.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up. He sold a dream, I ain't wake up. Clean up your rack, girl, that's enough. I won't be hurt, not after love. Gave my all and now I've had enough.
Okay, so very even sounding vocal there. So we're going to do with the active EQ and passive EQ as well. Let's just try to add some character to it. So with the active EQ, I have -2 at 180 hertz, doing -2 at 380, and then we're adding 2 dB at 10K. So with the active EQ, and also has a low and high pass filters on it, it just has a wide bell curve or a narrow bell curve. It's not any shelves on here. So we're doing a wide bell curve on the high band, and we're doing a narrow in the middle and narrow on the low. And this is what it sounds like.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up. He sold a dream, I ain't wake up. Clean up your rack, girl, that's enough. I won't be hurt, not after love. Gave my all and now I've had enough.
All right, I'm going to play just let's do the second phrase, without and with. Here's without.
Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
And with.
Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
Definitely hearing that lift that we're getting in the high end. Moving on to the passive EQ. So passive EQ, low shelf, high shelf, and mid band. 3-band EQ here, and here we're boosting 3 dB on, it's a fixed 10K shelf, boosting 3 dB there, and this is what that sounds like.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up. He sold a dream, I ain't wake up. Clean up your rack, girl, that's enough. I won't be hurt, not after love. Gave my all and now I've had enough.
All right, same thing. We'll do the second phrase without.
Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
And with.
Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
Very smooth top end on passive EQs. Pool techs is a great example of passive EQs. Pool techs are, well, original pool techs, most pool techs are passive EQs. If something like, you got to be careful with some of them, like the Warm Audio pool tech, that's not passive, but, just read the product description. If it's passive, trust me, they will let you know. Last one is the focusing EQ. So with this one, you have low cut and high cut, and it's really interesting old school radio UI that you have here. But you can just slide this to select your low cut, which is generally where I start with this. And then you have low gain, mid gain, and high gain, where you can't, with the mid you can cut, low and high you can boost, and you can choose between passive and active, which is really nice here. You also have your saturation knob, which is the same saturation from just a single Softube saturation knob. Very similar if you're familiar with that. Well, not very similar, it is the same thing. You got keep high, which is going to keep the highs untouched, keep the lows untouched, or neutral, which is going to saturate everything. So we have the saturation off right now. We're just going to boost a little bit on the high gain, and we're just going to flip between passive and active to hear the difference on that.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
And active.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up.
All right, now let's add some saturation in, and this meter here, right under the focus and equalizer, is you'll see how much saturation you're getting. Now let's set it to, let's saturate, we'll put on keep highs, which is going to keep the highs untouched and just saturate the lows.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up. He sold a dream, I ain't wake up. Clean up your rack, girl, that's enough. I won't be hurt, not after love. Gave my all and now I've had enough.
That was active. Here's passive.
I ain't never known this love. Gave my heart away, I gave it up. He sold a dream, I ain't wake up. Clean up your rack, girl, that's enough. I won't be hurt, not after love. Gave my all and now I've had enough.
All right, lastly, we're just going to play this last phrase and go without the focus and EQ and then bring it in. So this is without.
Gave my all and now I've had enough.
And with.
Gave my all and now I've had enough.
All right, getting a lot there with the, you see with the saturation, I've, barely have this turned up. You really just need a little here. You can easily go too far with this, and you can always back down as I was doing on the output, because adding saturation will add gain to the track or signal as well. So that's the Passive Active Pack from Softube. 3 really nice EQs, and I've got a link in the description if you want to check it out. I believe this is usually like $100. You can catch it on sale for like $75 here and there. Just keep an eye on Softube sales if you want to pick this up. And with the link in the description, you can check it out if you want to learn more about it. If you're using this, let me know what you think. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time. I want to invite you to check out my podcast, the Faders Up Podcast, where we discuss pro audio and beyond. We discuss everything from recording to gear to the music business. So if you're an audio engineer, songwriter, recording artist, music producer, this podcast is for you. We recently started season 2, and we're going to have a lot of listener questions on this season, as well as some really cool guests that's lined up and giveaways as well. So if you've already subscribed and followed the podcast, thank you. If you haven't, it's available on all platforms, and I encourage you to check it out. Also, rate it and review it and let us know what you think.